In the last video, we learned how to take very, very small numbers and put them into scientific notation. Now we're going to look at the reverse of that, which is to take small numbers that are written in scientific notation and put them back into normal form. So again, your process success criteria is down the side. These are the steps you'll need to take in each question. And we're going to have a look at the first question here. We're asked to change these back to normal form. Now, 2.68 times 10 to the negative 4. I'm going to look at that, and then step 1 tells me to write the first part of the number without the decimal point. So I'm going to take this 2.68 here and I'm going to write that out without the decimal point. And because I'm going to be moving the numbers in the other direction, because it's a negative power, I'm going to write the 2 and the 6 and the 8 over here a little bit and leave myself some space in here. Because the decimal point, because it's a negative power, the decimal point will be going this way. So I need to leave space for what's going to happen over here. Step 2 is move the point to the left, and that's to make a smaller number. Okay, so the decimal point we currently have here, between the 2 and the 6. Because it's a negative power, we're going to move this to the left to make a smaller number, and we're going to move it 4 spaces. So we'll put those lines in. It's between the 2 and the 6, so we're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces to its new position. And then all I need to do is I need to fill in each of these little troughs with a 0. So I'm going to put zeros in each of those. And the last thing as well is I wouldn't like to start a number with just a decimal point, so I would usually start that with 0 point. So now I've done that, the last step is just to neaten it up a little bit and write it as 0.000268. We're going to do the same with this one. We're going to follow through these 3 steps. Again, it's 2 times 10 to the negative 5. The negative power there tells me this is going to turn into a very small number, so the decimal point is going to move to the left. So again, we're going to write that number out without the decimal point. Now you might be thinking, well, that already is without the decimal point. So we've got an understanding of where the decimal point is. If you don't see a decimal point with a number, then it is actually at the end of the number. So I'm going to put that in there. Now, if I write it down here without the decimal point, and remember, leave myself some space to the left, just the 2, the decimal point is going to move from behind the 2 here 5 spaces across. So let's start from here and move 5 spaces across and count as we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put the decimal point in the new position and then fill in these troughs with zeros and then a 0 in front of the decimal point as well. Lastly, just neaten that up and we should end up with 0.00002. There's now an example here for you to try. So I've left the success criteria down the side, so all the steps you need to complete it. Pause the video, try the question and press play when you're ready to go over it. Okay, this question here, 6.2 times 10 to the negative 3. Step 1, write the first part of the number without the decimal point. So in other words, we're going to change that to just 62. And remember, we're going to leave some space to the left, so we're going to write it over a bit. We're now going to look at step 2. So we're going to move the point to the left to make a smaller number. Now the reason we're moving it to the left is it's a negative power, so that tells us it's going to be a smaller number. Now, the decimal point at the moment is between the 6 and the 2, so we're going to start here, and I'm going to move it to the left by 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3 spaces to its new position, and then fill in the troughs with zeros and an extra 0 at the start. Lastly, we're just going to neaten it up again, and we should end up with that.